Today on In the Woodyard, we're talking about touching your wood. Do you touch it too much? That's the question of the day. So recently I was watching YouTube, which I don't do very often, and I don't usually watch YouTube channels about firewood because I just don't have time. I can either make videos or watch videos. You guys like to watch them, so I make them. So that's kind of what I do. But there are things that come up from time to time. People will send me a link to a video and I will just quick look and see what it is because obviously they think I need to see it, which sometimes it's great, sometimes it's like, meh. But this one was a good one. Joe, Ohio Woodburner Joe. Yes, that Joe. He did a video, for you guys it was a month ago now. For me it was a couple days ago. Because my videos are always 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes behind because I shoot a lot of videos and I have a video every day. Only way I can have a video every day is to shoot in batches. So Joe did this video and he talked about his thing that he's talked about quite a few times is value added. And I used to be like Joe. Joe's a good guy. I like Joe. Nothing against Joe. He just does things differently than me. And people thought, well, Joe is talking about adding value by stacking the wood. And it does if you're being paid to do it. That's a great thing. I don't generally get paid to stack wood, especially here. To me, that's just extra work. So that's what we're going to talk about. At what point should you stack? Who should stack? And I'm going to talk about the big firewood producers that never touch the wood. The big guys. So when I first started doing firewood when I was 7, helping my dad. So that was 56 years ago, long time ago. So I've been helping do firewood for a long time. And then when I started doing my own firewood, when I bought my first house when I was 30-ish, I started cutting my own wood, stacking my own wood, burning my own wood. I don't have a wood stove or a wood boiler. It's a high efficiency fireplace that I can burn in and I can cut my heating bill in half basically. And then we burn outside in the smokeless stove fire pit type thing, camping. So I burn wood, but I do sell a lot of wood. I do about 200 full cords a year and I've been doing it for decades. So I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what works, what doesn't work, trial and error. I've made all the mistakes. Well, no, I haven't. There's a lot more to make yet. And I'm sure I'll make a bunch of them. But when I started doing videos, I started getting input from a lot of you and from a lot of other firewood producers that I would stop in and visit, go see and ask them questions and look at their operation and find out what works, what doesn't work, what they're doing differently than me, trying to learn from them, which is what a lot of you do. And I went to several places and I'm going to name them because I've got videos at their places showing you how they do what they do. Now, these 3 places I'm going to mention, only one has a YouTube channel, and that's Skidder Kev. He's up in Canada, Ontario. I think he's Ontario. He does bulk firewood. They do hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales a year of firewood. And you know what? They never touch the wood. They cut it in the woods, they harvest it, they sell off the quality wood for lumber, for veneer logs. They keep the lower grade stuff the size they want. For firewood, they process it and they sell in bulk. And they put everything in big, huge, tall cones and like a couple semi-loads at a time in a cone, and then it sits there for 6 months and dries. They scoop it up, put it through a tumbler, goes into a truck, they deliver it. They never touch the wood. Well, Joe is talking about how he adds all this value by touching the wood a lot. And yes, if you're an end user, I would agree, or if you're being paid by the end user as a supplier to stack it for them and they're paying you to do it, that's great. But I used to stack all my wood in my truck and trailer, so I knew exactly how much I was going to have. I used to stack it all in my wood yard, so I knew exactly how much I had, so I could just take a pile and then deliver it. But I found something out after listening to Skidder Kev, after listening to Jesse Arndt, who does 500,000 bundles a year. He does $2 million in sales plus a year selling bundles. They don't touch the wood other than bundling it. And then talking with Franks, who does a semi-load a day in bulk down to the cities where they deliver. Every day, a semi-load. They sell it every day, sometimes 2. They never touch the wood either. They must know something we don't. So they're not touching it. Now, I have my touches down to basically 2 touches. When we have the logs, they go on to the processor. They go through the processor. They come out the elevator into a trailer. Then I drive the trailer out here to the bins. We tip it up, and then the wood gets thrown into the bins to make sure that we don't have any bigger chunks that we want to resplit down. So that's my one touch, goes into the bins. My second touch is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to load up a load of mixed hardwood. It's going to be a half of a full cord into the trailer. Then I'm going to take it and dump it. So I've got it down to 2 touches. Ideally, 0 would be a beautiful number to see when it comes to touching firewood. 0 touches. That's what I'm after. Now, if I am paid to stack, I will stack. I, at my own house, stack firewood because I'm the end user, and I have a specific place I put it, and that's where I want it to be. The manager of my bed and breakfast that I reside at appreciates the nice, neat, stacked, organized in the corner, in the rack where it's supposed to be, or outside along the garage in a nice pile, or out on the deck where we have a little area where I stack the wood to be burned in the fire pit. Yeah, you got to keep her happy. So there's that. But if you're, what I used to do, like I said, if you're stacking it, as you're splitting it into a bucket on a tractor or into a little trailer, then you're driving it to where you're going to stack it again. Then it's going to sit there and dry. Then you're going to take it from that stack, restack it into your trailer or truck, take it to the customer, and then dump it out on the ground, or get paid to stack it from said trailer, said truck. So that's a lot of touching. And yeah, it might add value in that the people you're selling it to think you really care, it's all organized, you get exactly what you want. But you know what my customers like? They like fast service, quality dry wood, and extra wood, which is what I do. I throw in extra wood all the time. And the reason I know that is I consider my trailers, my truck, measuring cups. I have had full cords, third of a cords, half cords, multiple cords stacked for years and years and years, that I would then take it, a full cord, 128 cubic feet, a pile that is 4 feet high, 4 feet wide, 8 feet long. I know how much that is. Throw it into my big trailer. And you know what I found out after doing it thousands of times, because I'm slow? It's always the same amount. It's like a measuring cup. Think about it this way. Take a cup, measuring cup, not a dry measuring cup, dry weight measuring cup. Scoop it into a box of rice. You level it off. You've got a cup of rice. You dump that out into a bowl to make it. It's still a cup. You dump it onto the cupboard. It's still a cup. If you put it back into the box, it's a cup, what you put into it to add to it, and there's more than a cup in there then. Scoop it back out, you got another cup. It's pretty simple, but I'm a simple man. So my vessels that I deliver in, I know how much wood they hold because I've done it so many times. I know how much to put in to have the right amount. And when I get the right amount, you know what I do? I throw a couple more armfuls in. You know who's happy? Me. I never had to stack it. Less touches. My customer is extremely happy. When they go in and put it in the rack, they send me pictures. I can't believe how much extra wood you gave me. That was awesome. I get that all the time. So that is my customer added value. Just saying. Love you, Joe. All right, we're going to throw some wood in and go do a delivery. It's half a full cord, mixed hardwood. Here we go. Well, there it is. The measuring cup has got the right amount of wood in it, and then some. So this trailer is the one I use all the time. This is I call it my baby dumper. It is a 5 wide, 10 feet long, twin axle, 3,500 pound twin axle, so 7,000 pound capacity. The trailer weighs right around 2,000 pounds, so I can get 5,000 pounds in here. So if I was to stack wood in here, I can get a full cord in here loose. If I go just to the bottom of the boards, level across, it is 1/3 of a cord. If I put it so it's close to being level, it's about a half of a full cord, and then I throw a little extra in. If I put it so it's level with a little bit of a crown, it is 2/3 of a cord or 2 face cords. And that's the right amount of wood. Actually, it's not the right amount of wood. It's more than the right amount of wood, which is what I'm after. I want happy customers. So there, and I did that pretty fast. Now, the first place I went to over there in that farther bin, I put in ash and elm, and there was a little bit of soft maple in there. And then this here was all hard maple, and there was a few pieces of ironwood I saw in there too. So it's a mix of wood, and I got the right amount in here, which is kind of nice. Now, another thing I thought of while I was doing this is I thought about my coffee cup here. I've got this Yeti cup here that I got from Steve Ranella when I was on the Mediator podcast with my brother Ken a couple of years ago. We were on episode 114. I think before it was on YouTube, it was just a podcast. And we went on there, we talked about firewood and beaver trapping and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And they gave me this. So this is my coffee cup I usually use every day. When I make my coffee in the morning, I make 3 cups. I like coffee, but I don't love it. I mean, it's not like I got to have a gallon pot every day like some people do. My brother Ken drinks like a gallon a day. If I get 2 or 3 cups, I'm good. It wakes me up, tastes good in the morning. And the reason I use this is because when I make my 3-cup pot, I pour it in, I put a little maple syrup in there, a little bit of milk, and it's full right to the top. Because a cup of coffee is not actually 8 ounces, it's 6 ounces. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, plus my couple ounces of milk and maple syrup that I put in there. It fills this right to the top. It's the same every day. Every day it's the same amount. Just saying. Measuring cups work. This is my measuring cup for wood. Let's go do a dump. So the delivery is complete, and I have one final thought on stacking wood. However you want to do it is perfectly fine. If you want to stack all your wood, make it look pretty, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. But for me, as a firewood seller that does a couple hundred full cords a year, I save myself somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 hours to 300 hours a year not stacking my firewood. That's a lot of hours. If you take 100 hours and you just say, the number I like to use for me, $75 an hour, that's what my time is worth. $75 an hour times 100 hours is $7,500. Times 3, if you go to 300. That's a bunch of money. It's over 20 grand of my time. And my time is the most valuable thing that I have, probably besides my health. Health, probably number 1. Time, number 2. That's the most valuable things I have as an individual. Obviously, there's other things more important to me, a family, that stuff. That really matters. But my time is valuable. And the more I spend my time touching wood, the less time I have for making videos, spending time with my family, going on trips, doing the things I like to do. And the way I see it is if I'm working in the wood yard, taking one piece of wood from the splitter, stacking it into my tractor bucket or into the truck or trailer, driving it to where I'm going to stack it again, taking it, stacking it, and then I take it from that pile 6 months later, stack it into my trailer. That's another stack. That's a lot of time. That's how I see it. And like I said, I used to stack wood. Now if I stack wood, I want to be paid. And I charge $25 per face cord or third of a cord to stack it. $75 for a full cord. I can do it in about 40 minutes. That's what I need to do it. I don't want to stack it. I'd rather be making more wood. I enjoy that more. I enjoy cutting the wood, splitting the wood, dumping it in big piles, dumping it in piles for customers, having them give me Uncle Benjamin pictures. That's what I like to do. I enjoy that part of it. The stacking, not so much. Okay, my rant for today is over. No more. Sorry about that if it offended you. Didn't mean it that way. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Good night, Irene.